guys, happy Sunday. Daisy and I are just out taking a walk right now. We are practicing her loose leash healing and her pressure and release. As you can see, she is getting very good with her pressure and release. She is starting to calm down a lot more when we are out on walks. She's not trying to eat my shoes or my pants quite as much anymore. When she gets really excited, sometimes she tries to revert to it a little bit, but we immediately stop and we calm her down at that point. Which is really the whole idea behind what you want to do for training with your puppy, is teaching them as soon as a behavior starts to, come arise, you want to stop it before it progresses to something a lot worse, like play biting and grabbing pant legs and pulling and things like that. So what you want to do is just that idea where you're using pressure and release to communicate to her that you need her to calm down. So at this point, we are able to walk forward with no pressure on the leash. I'm not holding on to it, and I can use pops to get her to basically think of it like a traffic light. That's a yellow light. That's saying slow down or pay attention. You're not quite, you don't need to go to a full-on calm down or a red light, but I can give her a pop to say, nope, that's too much. Don't do that. So you can see she was starting to get a little too interested. So I'm going to start doing some turns right now, right? You don't want to do a lot of straight lines because that's going to be really boring. So if she's getting kind of just like, meh, this is done. See how she started to get a little nippy? Then we're going to go to a red light. Pressure on until she sits, and then pressure off. Heel. And we only move forward when there's a loose leash. So she got a little too excited, so we're going to stop. Pressure on, pressure off. And we're going to adjust this and push this a little bit higher up. You want this framing their skull, not on their trachea, so nice and high up. Heel. Pop just as soon as she was about to go ahead of me. I know she knows what to do, so giving her pops. Now, if I have to do more than 2 or 3 pops to say calm down or pay attention, then we're going to go to a full-on calm down. Yeah. Turn. Going slow is also more difficult for puppies than going fast. So if your dog is going fast and you try and go a little faster to get ahead of them, what's going to happen is you guys are going to start playing a game of tag, and you're both going to start going a little bit faster, and you're going to be running before you know it. So actually, if your dog's trying to go too fast, slow down, right? So see if I slowed down, she immediately started to pull ahead, and that's just by the way I'm holding the leash. So we're going to hold on to that pressure. I'm going to add spatial pressure, which is using the front of my body to stand in front of her and the distraction to reinforce that she needs to go into that position before the pressure goes away. Okay. The pressure does not release for any other reason except for butt hitting ground. That's it. So I'm going to start turning. So notice she didn't see. Ooh, she did though. I didn't have to give her any pop there. Daisy. Daisy. Good girl. Daisy. Yeah. Daisy. So pop there, a pop again. Kind of getting her back into this position right here. But you always want to remember that you're in control of the walk. If she's sniffing and she's trying to pick things up on the ground and following leaves and just slightly ahead of you, all of those things are just, she's not in a perfect heel. Heel means she's following you. She can't be ahead of you at all and be following you at the same time. So the best way, and this is great for puppies any age, is starting off by backpedaling. So stand backwards. Daisy. Daisy. So instead of adding more pressure, I'm getting her to pay attention first. And then as soon as she paid attention, she realized, oh, pressure's on, and then it goes away, right? So you don't need to add more force. You can add a second force, which is yourself. Good girl. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start backing up, and I'm going to get her to follow me wherever I go. All right, so I'm not using any pressure. Off. Daisy, off. So I'm not going to start pulling on this leash and playing. Daisy, off. Off. Good girl. So if you start tugging on it and being like, no, off, and you're trying to pull it out of her mouth and stuff, she's going to think we're playing a big game right there. So I just stay calm. I tell her off until she drops it from her mouth. She's getting real good with that, even like picking up pine cones and stuff like that, especially after all of the stuff that fell after the rain this weekend. She's been loving picking up all the sticks and stuff. But yeah, so going back to, you basically want to go backwards and get her to keep following you wherever you go backwards. Because if you can get her to follow you like this, then you can kind of clean it up off. So I can give her a little pop there. Then I can clean it up and go forward. And she should be doing the same thing. Off. Right, so anytime she tries to go to nip at my feet, I'm saying off and giving a pop on the leash before teeth even touch my skin, because I know what she's about to do. She's a silly girl. Off. Right, so she's picking up leaves, like I said. So she's distracted. She's a baby. That's to be expected. Babies are distracted. But it's all about just trying to get her to work and focus on you. That's the key behind it, right? Just like playing a game of follow the leader, as nice as you can get her to follow you. Off. That's a good example also of how you do off for play biting. So you can use your thumb. You can use your thumb and you can curl like this and press, or you can go like this and press down on her tongue. Yep. So having this position properly also helps. Off. Good girl. Having a position properly also helps because it's not dangling in front of her face. So when it's in front of her, she's going to be a lot more likely to want to play with it. Right, so she gets bored going straight lines. We need to keep her following by doing turns and stops. Okay. The more stops you do when she's little, the better, because she's going to really start to understand where your invisible box is. So you're going to imagine you have an invisible box that goes like this, and anytime she goes in front of it, to the side of it, or behind it, goodness, that's not my house. It's the kennel across the street. Anytime they go outside of that box, the pressure is going to naturally turn on, and she's going to understand, oh, pressure means I need to do that, instead of we move forward when there's pressure on the leash. Heel. So pop to slow her down. Off. Okay, so she wasn't paying attention. Then we're going to go back to calm down. Okay. So there's a time for sniffing and playing and stuff. Now, if you don't want her in like this nice heel, heeling is a moving command. You're not just taking her for a walk. You are practicing commands with her, and you are working on mental stimulation with her as well as physical stimulation. So you're doing a lot more than just taking a walk. Now, when I take her out to go potty, that's a totally different thing, because she is not in a loose leash a loose leash heel. She's just in free mood. So if we go out into the field, it'll be okay. Off. Off. So just squeeze because she's biting the leash still. And she immediately stops. So just a quick correction. So this would just be free time where she doesn't have to be next to me or anything, but I'm still never going to let her move forward when there's pressure on this leash. It's still always going to be loose, and then I do what I call the lawnmower. So if she pulls, I pull her towards me and release. So it's like a big yellow light. Right? And that's still enforcing that we don't move forward when there's pressure on the leash. That's a red light. You can't let her move forward through red lights sometimes and then expect her to sit other times. So pressure on, pressure off. Real quick. She's finding all sorts of fun stuff. But this is good. Puppies need time to explore and play and sniff and do all that. And then you add in taking a good heel portion of that walk where she's really focusing on you, and you're teaching her to be calm, and you're reinforcing working with you, and becoming a team together, not just kind of correcting things you don't want, but building that working relationship together, like you did with Penny. So same idea with Daisy. So yeah, she's doing great. She's such a sweet little happy thing. I'm sure she's gonna do great. She's such a good girl. So yeah, that's it for now. But of course, if you have any questions, you know where to find me, and we'll be back with more updates of the sweet little Daisy Doos. Say bye, Peanut.